Hello and welcome to What Happened This Weekend in MMA. I am your host, Matthew Mitchum, and on today's show, we'll be covering this past weekend's UFC pay-per-view 291 headlined by Justin Gaethje versus Dustin the Diamond Poirier. We've also got one more fighter that we believe that you should be taking a look at when it comes to UFC card investing. And lastly, we'll be covering this upcoming weekend's fight night in Nashville headlined by Corey Sandhagen versus Rob Font. We'll be joined by Mystic Matt as well for him to give us his plays for the week. So the results from this past weekend's UFC pay-per-view 291 in Salt Lake City, Utah, where in the main event, Justin, the Highlight Gaethje head kick knocks out Dustin, the Diamond Poirier in the second round, and Jorge Gamebred Masvidal was awkwardly there to crown Justin, the Highlight Gaethje, the new BMF champion. In the co-main event, we had a controversial split decision as Alex Poatan Pereira defeats Jan Blachowicz via split decision. In the feature fight of the night, we had the return of Black Beast Derek Lewis defeating Marcos Rogério Pezao de Lima via first round flying knee and then ends him with some ground and pound, followed off by this. My man's balls stay hot. And we've got a sad one here as Bobby King Green defeats El Kukui, Tony Ferguson, in the third round of their fight via arm triangle with just 6 seconds left on the clock. I think it's time for El Kukui to hang it up, but hey, he's his own man. On the opening fight of the pay-per-view, the Trailblazer Kevin Holland defeats the Maverick Michael Chiesa via first round Darce choke. In the headlines and finishes from the prelims where Gabriel Bonfim submits Trevin Giles with a guillotine choke just over a minute into the first round. We basically had a sparring match between CJ Vergara and Vinicius Salvador where CJ Vergara does get the decision win at the end of the night. Roman Kapilov would condition the body of Claudio Ribeiro where in the second round he would take one up high where he would end Claudio Ribeiro with a head kick knockout just 30 seconds into the second round. The Celtic Kid, Jake Matthews, defeats Beast Mode, Darius Flowers, via second round submission. But if I'm going to be honest, that fight could have been over in the first due to a body kick, but the fight went on and Jake Matthews submitted him via rear naked choke. Uroš Medic survives an early beating by Matthews Semi the Jedi Semelsberger to come back in the third round to knock out Semi the Jedi with a spinning back fist. And the opening fight of the card, we had Miranda, Fear the Maverick, defeat Priscilla Cachoeira via third round armbar. And we definitely saw Priscilla up to some of her old tactics as usual. So our fighter to watch this week when it comes to UFC card investing is going to be Sean the Sniper Woodson. It is no secret that I am a fan of Sean the Sniper Woodson. He is born ready. Sean Woodson's rookie card set is this year 2023 Prism. And the reason why I think that you should be taking a look at Sean Woodson this week is he is absolutely massive for the weight class. He has only had a few stumbles, one being at elevation. He's known for being a great boxer, and indeed he is. But what really gets me is his body type for the weight class. He's over 6 foot and fights at 145. The dude has power and a gas tank to go with it for the most part. But Sean Woodson is going to be fighting this weekend at UFC Nashville, taking on Jesse Butler that just now got knocked clean out by Jim Miller. All signs point this week to Sean the Sniper Woodson getting the win and him being an excellent buy. The UFC is taking a fight night on the road this weekend to UFC Nashville, where in the main event, we've got Corey, the Sandman Sandhagen, taking on Rob Font. In the co-main event, we've got late notice replacement Bacha Estaca, Jessica Andrade, going to be taking on Tatiana Suarez, moving back down to 115 pounds. In the feature fight of the night, we've got Dahania, Dustin Jacoby, taking on the African Savage, Kennedy Nzechukwu. We've got the returning featherweight standout Diego Lopes going to be taking on Gavin Tucker. Tanner the Bulldozer Bozer makes another light heavyweight appearance, going to be taking on Alexa Kammer. And on the opening fight of the main card, one of my personal favorite fighters to watch, we've got Ignacio Bahamundes going to be taking on Ludovic Klein. So now let's get our weekly guest, Mystic Matt, for him to give us his plays for the week. Hey, Mystic Matt, how you doing this week, brother? I see you don't have a gold chain. You did give us a winning play last week. What happened? Hey Matthew, how you doing? Yeah, no cheddar chain this week. I only wear the cheddar chain if I can hit a parlay. So even though I did give y'all Derek Lewis as the underdog of the week, I'm not gonna wear the cheddar chain because I only wear the cheddar chain when I win big, a parlay, if you will. Fair enough. We only get the chain if he hits a parlay. But Matt, I'm not gonna hold you up this week. I know you've got a lot going on. What do you have for your plays this upcoming weekend? I appreciate that, Matthew. Yeah, I actually do have a lot going on this weekend. I am going to Nashville for the fight, so I'm super excited for that. So, with that being said, I'm going to start off with my three leg for the week, as I always do. And leg number one of that parlay is going to be Jake Hadley to defeat Cody Durden. Jake Hadley has clean boxing and dirty body shots. Truly, I expect Jake Hadley to knock out Cody Durden with maybe likely a body shot this weekend. Jake Hadley, first leg of the parlay. And leg number two is going to be Jeremiah Wells over Carlston Harris. I believe Jeremiah Wells has fantastic wrestling, and I believe he's going to put Carlston Harris on his back all three rounds. Look back to him versus Semi the Jedi in his last fight. I look for basically the same thing to happen. Maybe not him getting dropped as much, though. And for leg number three, I'm going Diego Lopes over Gavin Tucker. Diego Lopes really impressed a lot of people in his last fight versus Movsar Evloev, me included. I'm going Diego Lopes this weekend and maybe even by submission, but Diego Lopes straight up is going to be leg number three this week. And all three of those combined equals out to a plus 373. So that's going to be my three leg this week. And I'm going to be honest, Matthew, I don't really have a huge fan in underdogs this week. Maybe if I could put out a possible one, Alexa Kammer over Tanner Bulldozer Bozer, but I'm not going to be betting that. I am a Tanner Bulldozer fan, but Alexa Kammer does have a path to victory, and Tanner Bozer has only fought at 205 one other time, so a little bit unknown still. But as I said, I'm not going to be betting it, but I guess that's the one that I could see most likely getting it done this weekend. Truly, Mystic Matt, I haven't even looked at the odds this week yet, so I appreciate you doing your homework for us. When odds do open up, what is going to be the prop that you're going to be watching out for? Yeah, the props are truly where I make my cheddar at. That's what I love to parlay up and just get crazy odds. But two props that I'm going to be watching out for this weekend. Since I didn't really give y'all an underdog, I'm going to give y'all two props that I cannot wait to drop. One of which being Jake Hadley via knockout. I just now told y'all about him fighting Cody Durden this upcoming weekend. And the second one I'm going to be taking a look at when it drops is Diego Lopes via submission. He had Movsar Evloev in some very tough spots, and he has great jiu-jitsu. I believe he's the jiu-jitsu coach at the Lobo gym, which is Alexa Grasso's gym, Irina Aldana's gym, Brandon Moreno, the jiu-jitsu coach there. He has fantastic jiu-jitsu, if you will. So Diego Lopes by submission is going to be another one that I'm going to be looking at. All right, Mystic Matt, as always, we appreciate you for stopping by here, giving us your plays for the week. Good luck this weekend, but anything before we let you go? I appreciate that, Matthew. It's been 2 weeks in a row now that I was this close to winning pretty big. This past weekend, the final fight of the night, I expected it to go over 2.5, and it didn't. So I appreciate. Thank you for the luck this week, and thank you for having me on here. As always, remember, as always, the one thing I want you to remember is check out the Golden Octagon MMA podcast every UFC Fight Week Wednesdays at 8:30 p.m. live right here on the Golden Octagon YouTube channel. All right, you heard the man, the Golden Octagon MMA podcast every UFC Fight Week Wednesdays live right here on YouTube at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. But with that being said, we do have to let you know that there will be no What Happened in MMA this upcoming week, as the Golden Octagon will be making the trip to UFC Nashville, but expect some other content right here on the channel. But as always, we truly appreciate you stopping by here today. Hit that thumbs up button on your way out if you haven't already. As always, I am your host, Matthew Mitchum. Have a good night.